ready, Jason. We're recording.
Okay. Notice of this meeting was advertised in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Ms. Trueblood will be absent this evening. Ms. Stinney?
Present.
Ms. Skull?
Present.
Ms. Jackson?
Present.
Mr. Allen?
Present. This meeting is now called to order. Resolution number 150-2015 authorizes council to go into closed session. Council, administration, or the solicitor, are there any items for closed session?
I have nothing, Council President.
Not for me. No.
Okay. Hearing none, there will be no closed session. Council, we're actually going to deviate from the agenda slightly. We're going to move up resolution number 169-2015 on the agenda. Resolution number 169-2015, recognition of dedication of public service for Sean Myers. I will read the resolution and then if we could have a motion. Whereas Sean Myers has served with distinction in the Pemberton Public Works Department and Pemberton Township Police Department for a total of over 15 years. And whereas Sean Myers, during his tenure with Pemberton Township, has given of his time and knowledge and service to the residents of the Township of Pemberton. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Pemberton, assembled in public session on this 15th day, July 2015, that the Township Council does hereby commend Sean Myers for his contributions and dedicated service to the Township of Pemberton. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution shall be presented to Sean Myers on behalf of Town Council.
Motion to approve resolution number 169-2015 as read by Council President, the resolution of the Pemberton Township Council in appreciation of the dedicated service, public service by Sean Myers. And
Amy, please poll the council.
Mrs. Stinney?
yes.
Mrs. Skull?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Mr. Myers, I'd like to present you with this resolution.
Just shred that
On
for me,
behalf
please.
of administration and Town Council, we'd like to thank you for your service. We wish you nothing but the best. Thank you. There is anyone else from Town Council or anyone else that would like to say something?
I would like to speak, Council President. To Mr. Meyer, I want to thank you for your service. To your wife, your lovely wife, I thank you for your patience. I thank God for the blessings that He's given you during the day, at night, not knowing what the minute or the hour will bring. To His children, thank you for supporting your parents the way that you have, and I'm looking at you now. You seem like wonderful, wonderful children. And with your dad being on the force, I'm sure you listened very closely to everything he had to say. To his beautiful mother, I thank you for raising such a wonderful man. Accolades to you. Had it not been for you, he would not be here. And I'm sure he's thanked you many, many, many times over again. Those are my sentiments to you. Good luck in your retirement.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I'm just going to give him a hug.
Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Would you like to say anything, or?
Unfortunate that due to my circumstances, my career was cut short. No regrets. The family roots come back to Pemberton. It's Pemberton pride all the way. So, it's unfortunate. Like I said, everything got cut short, but things happen. I guess everything happens for a reason. So I'm moving on to the next chapter. So, but thank you.
Again, best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Just don't forget those Pemberton roots.
I'll mail it to you. Mrs. Trueblood had to leave and didn't get a chance to sign it, so it will be mailed to you, I promise.
Were you able to get pictures?
I did,
Oh, okay.
Okay. Public comments on agenda items only. Consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine by the Township Council and will be enacted.
Public comment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Public comments on agenda items only. Mr. Prickett.
Hi, Rick Prickett, 181 Visitortown Road. A couple of questions having to do first with Resolution 159 2015 approves amendment of the current collective negotiations agreement with the PBA Local 260 solely regarding Article 12 entitled Salaries, paragraphs F and H, in parentheses 3. Could you give me a thumbnail sketch of what that amendment's all about?
Sure. This is a collective bargaining agreement between the Township and the PBA Local 260, which terminates December 31st, 2017. The Township and the PBA discussed the salaries portion of the agreement, and the union requested that paragraphs F and H3 be modified. These modifications are a result of the police department changing to the 8-hour shift.
Okay, so it has to do with changing from a 12-hour shift to an 8-hour shift?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, my next question, Resolution 166-2015 authorizes renewal of its membership in a mutual aid and assistance agreement with participating units. What is that? What are the participating units? Are you referring to townships? What are the details here? This is really a vague resolution.
Okay. I will read again from my notes. This is for mutual aid assistance in the result of an emergency such as a domestic incident, destruction, fire, explosion, emergency, natural or man-made disaster. Participating units shall provide mutual aid assistance to each other. We're talking different townships, EMS, fire, everything working together collectively.
Okay, so EMS and fire.
This agreement is between municipalities, counties, law enforcement agencies,
Yep.
And the agreement of this term expires July 31st, 2020.
Okay, so the county and surrounding townships, their EMS and fire protection services.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Resolution 167-2015 authorizes the auction of towed vehicles which remain unclaimed. How will that auction take place? Will the vehicles be posted somehow for people? Are they going to be auctioned off individually? Or are they going to be auctioned off as a group of vehicles? Will that be advertised? How will that be advertised? Are there legal requirements for auctioning of, I know there is with properties, is there with towed vehicles?
I guess it would depend on how many vehicles we have, because you asked if they were going to be grouped together or sold individually. But I will let Dennis.
If I may, it's a total of 9 vehicles that have been towed by one or both of our police towing firms, and the chief will be evaluating. Some of the vehicles may be just scrap, so the ones that are scrap will probably be advertised to be sold as a group by scrap. If any of the vehicles have any discernible value beyond scrap value, then we'll advertise those as to be separately sold. Yes, there has to be public advertising, and we'll work with Chief Cantus and the township clerk to do the advertising as required by statute.
Are they held, or the vehicles held for a period of time before they're auctioned off? Is there a number of months or
15 business days.
15 business days?
That is correct. Was that a number?
Yes. That was 15. You're correct.
Okay, I
I'm
think
sure
that,
they've been there much longer, but...
Much longer.
Yeah. But, yeah.
the annual license renewal, trailer park license, used car license, are those licenses, is there a fee associated with those licenses?
Amy?
Yes, there is.
And how is that revenue recorded? Does it come in all at once, or over a period of, let's say, a month, is all the licensing revenue in?
Generally, the trailer park licenses are done in the beginning of the year, or actually I should say in December for the new year. Used car licenses are done in March, so the bulk of those licenses come in at those 2 different periods because of their renewal times. These 2 particular licenses are being done separately at this time because Bel Air Trailer Park and Browns Mills Coaches and Sales, which actually are the same place, we cannot renew a license unless all municipal fees are paid up to date. And it was determined, and finally, they have everything paid up to date, so now we can renew their license.
Will the council receive the number, how much that license revenue amounts to once all the revenue has been collected during that month or shortly thereafter? Or do they only know about the revenue during the next budget the following year?
I'm honestly not sure how to answer that question.
My question's clear, though, right?
It is clear. The amount comes in as revenue throughout the year, depending on what the license is, regardless of what license, and it's referred to as, in the budget, it's included as income, revenue, and that's when I don't know that it's broken out specifically for these particular licenses.
So as the revenue comes in, the council isn't apprised as to how much has come in over time, as far as you know?
No, not specifically for, like, the stuff for my department, no.
All right, is there any reason why they couldn't be apprised on a monthly, I guess if you got the ledger, some townships get the ledger, and in the ledger you see all the transactions that take place. If you remember, the township had problems with this ledger for a lot of years. Close to 10 years, and recently over the last, maybe 4 years, the ledger has been completed and up to date. Does the council get to see the general ledger so they could see that revenue on a regular basis that comes in?
I guess we could, but we don't.
We don't. Okay.
But how was it when you were on council?
Well, I never, rarely did the council ever receive the ledger to review. I'm not sure that other townships don't get it on a regular basis.
I'm sure that goes down to a form of government issue, quite frankly, I would think.
Well, if I may, our financial system is available to all council members in the council office, and council members have the opportunity to see the financial system, which will include both revenue and expenditures.
Okay, thank you. Just in addition to my response to your question. I know the last year or so I was on council. There was a terminal, a computer terminal in one of the offices. I don't know whether that's still available. They connected you, I believe, to the ledger. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Quinn?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Couple of questions. This might be out of turn, and if I'm out of turn, then I'll wait till the end, but the other resolutions are now or later?
You could ask your question.
Okay.
Or
Under
your
other
comment.
resolutions, it's separate, so I didn't know if that was now or later. All right. My questions have to do with 151, 2015. There's a cancellation of unexpected appropriations and open balances to the tune of $40,000 plus for East Lakeshore Drive grant. What happened with that?
The grant is complete, and we had an excess of $40,573.79. So now we are canceling that money. The money goes back to the NJDOT. And again, that project is complete.
Okay. This community, 152-2015, the Community Wildfire Protection Grant to the tune of $5,000. I know in the past we've had some serious issues with fire. I had one that was 2 blocks from my house, so I'm just curious as to, is this to help with wildfires, or what is this exactly to be used for?
It has to be used for a fire-related issue, and my understanding is it's up to the fire chief to determine what exactly the money, or where exactly the money will go.
Yes, if I may, the final decision as to how it will be spent hasn't been made. I assume there will be a purchase of some equipment, and typically that will come back to the council. The chief is evaluating the different options from this $5,000 grant that we are receiving. This is an insertion into the budget because we just received the funds. It's possible that the chief will recommend PPEs, personal protective equipment, which we need to replace in the department, or something else. But this will be back before the council. This specific resolution is just to insert it into the budget because we can't take in money or spend money unless it's in the budget.
Bear with me, please. With respect to 153, 2015 and 154, 2015, it's purchased for asphalt, and it's also purchased for sand and stone. Now, is this asphalt
153.
to finish the roads that were still being done, or just out of curiosity?
Dennis, would you like to address that?
Yeah, this is the material that we need to finish the crescent and a couple of other small items that we talked about the last time. We're able to find some money, a few dollars in existing bond ordinances, and then some of the money is coming from the current fund operating expenses, other expenses.
I'm assuming the stone and the sand is in conjunction with the asphalt?
It's not necessarily stone and sand. I guess it is stone and sand. It's called aggregates. It is the material that is necessary to be put down as a base when you totally reconstruct the street.
Okay. 168, 2015. This is for the Green Acres loan that we would have to bear at $350,000. I would like to remind the council to look down at the ordinances for introduction, because I see that there's a $1.1 million bond for West End Athletic Complex. You know, we were here 2 weeks ago about the $950,000 bond for various pieces of equipment and asphalt, and I'm going to comment more on this later, but I just want to bring that to your attention. And whoever, Mr. Gonzalez, if it was you or whoever, had somebody go out to the corner of Manahawkin and Red Feather, thank you for cutting the jungle down.
Thank you for cutting, what you cut down?
The jungle.
Oh.
It's an abandoned property, and the weeds were chest high in some places. So,
Ms. Quinn, just so you know, of that 1.1 million, that $750,000 is a grant that would not have to be repaid. The
okay,
300
so that's, so
the 300
$750,000 wouldn't have to be paid back. So
It's a
we would
grant.
still have the balance to be paid back, plus another $350,000 under Green Acres,
at no interest from the NJDEP at no interest.
which is no interest.
The $350,000
But the other remainder,
is a grant.
no. You said the $750,000 wouldn't have to be paid out, so the remainder is a regular loan with interest.
No interest. The
So neither one of them have interest.
The $750,000 is a grant.
Yep.
The $350,000 is a no interest loan that is spread out over the course of 20 years that would have to be paid back at $17,500 a year, I believe. At no interest.
Okay.
Ms. Quinn, that totals your 1.1 million. There isn't another 350,000.
Well, the way that reads, it's 1.1 million for the West End Athletic Clubs, but then you have a separate entry for the $350,000 loan for Green Acres. So how is that part of 1.1 million?
It's 750,000 plus the 350. That's 1.1 million.
Yeah, but the way you have it listed on the agenda, you have it listed as two separate items. You're not.
The resolution is accepting the grant, is accepting it, and then the ordinance allows us to spend the money because we get reimbursed.
In the title, it says, authorizes the acceptance of the Green Acres loan in the amount of $350,000 and a matching grant in the amount of $750,000.
Okay. And one last question I have right now. The public is new business now or later?
Thank you.
Because if it's later, I'll come back.
You can do it now. It's anything that's on the agenda.
Public Works purchase, wait a minute. What's this purchase for shelving for 5808? Like, what is this for and where is it going?
This is shelving, $5,808 for shelving for one of our buildings.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Wadsworth? I wasn't sure if you were being nice and waving at me or raising your hand.
I'll wait too. Claire Wadsworth, Browns Mills. Quick question on Resolution 168, 2015. If memory serves, wasn't that loan initially going to be $750,000
Dennis?
as opposed to $350,000?
If I may, the original application was for $1.5 million, and typically Green Acres would do half loan, half grant. In this case, they awarded the township 1.1 million, not the 1.5 that we requested. By the way, that was actually a very typical thing that they did with about a half a dozen or a dozen other $1.5 million requests throughout the state. What they did is that they reduced the loan part of the request while keeping the grant part of the request and awarding the grant part of the request. That's how we got to 1.1 from the original application of 1.5.
Okay, was there any particular reason the state denied the additional money?
They don't give anybody any reasons why they make the choices that they make.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine by the Township Council and will be enacted by one motion. Should a council member wish to discuss a consent agenda item separately, that item can be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the regular agenda.
Excuse me, Council, at this time I'd like to request that the meeting minutes for June 17th be pulled from the agenda. There was a question on them and it needs to be addressed before they can be voted on, so they'll come back at the next meeting.
Thank you. Council, are there any agenda items that
Yes.
need to be pulled?
Yes. I'd like to pull Resolution 155-2015 and other resolutions 168-2015.
I don't think that one has to be pulled. 168?
Yeah,
Yeah,
168.
that doesn't that's under other resolutions.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
but
So
I
when
got-
it comes there, I'll speak.
Okay. 155-2015 from Ms. Gall. I'm sorry, Ms. Stinney.
Yes.
Are there any others?
152. And I would like to pull the purchase under new business A1 for the shelving.
Council, is there a motion to introduce the consent agenda as amended?
Motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
And I will second that.
Amy, please poll the council.
Mrs. Skull?
Yes.
Mrs. Stinney?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Ms. Stinney.
Sure. Oftentimes, we hire employees, and there was a wonderful article in the newspaper on the replacement of such a wonderful, long-time prosecutor by the name of Dean Bono, who has been in Pemberton Township. I can't even count the years. And seeing administration selection, I applaud you wholeheartedly, highly, and all around. I also did some research myself that I would like to share with the residents so we can have a better idea who we have here as our prosecutor. There was a resume, a very, I just can't even expound on the resume that was submitted with the Honorable Adam, S as in Sam, his middle name, Malamut, Esquire. The many things that he has accomplished throughout his career. One, I would like to expound on is his honors and his award. He was the top 100 trial lawyer selected under one of his honors. I did a little homework myself. And I love community. I love my residents. And God knows above, I love my students. And Mr. Mayor is leaving. I just wanted to say thank you very much for your selection and your choice. Okay, thank you. Oh, when I'm done? Oh, Lord have mercy. Well, then I'm just going to go on and complete what I have to say. Maybe I'll take up a long time, you know. Just only kidding. Mr. Malamott is a very community-minded person. I just wanted to let you know that. Very rare do we get administration that participates and employees that participates in our community. I was wondering Mr. Malamott would be here to be introduced to our council, but the mayor left, so I can't get that answer from him. But anyway, his community-minded involvement, he participates in the annual community tour drive. Beautiful. Participates in community turkey drive. Beautiful. He's an immediate past president, 2 terms, 6 years, of the Boy and Girls Club of Camden County. I'm grateful that he's coming here to Pemberton Township and will highlight us and maybe do a little visiting out in our community, maybe perhaps visiting hope to be soccer fields and things like that to see what our youth and our parents are doing here in our community. And I wanted to just say that. I guess the mayor will be back, and I better hush up because I see the residents are kind of getting weary to see where we're going to get to this. I see soccer moms and coaches and all of those sorts of things. But I just wanted to expound on our incoming prosecutor so that our residents here in Pemberton Township know a little bit more about those who are being hired here in our township. Although it was a nice article in the newspaper that was covered by Mr. Dave Lazinski, and I thanked him very much for the positive articles that have been going in. You know, too often that don't happen. You see a whole bunch of negatives, and then a whole bunch of negative people follow negative articles. So negative equals negative. But this was very positive, and I, again, thank you very much, administration. Thank you. I'm sure, Dennis, you had a lot, and the mayor walked out on me on my comments, but it's okay. Community resident, you know exactly what I'm coming from. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Is there a motion to approve resolution?
I would love to make that motion to approve
Resolution 155-2015.
the appointment of Adam S. Malamott, Esquire, as the Pemberton Township Municipal Prosecutor for the remainder of the year 2015. And thank you again, administration. Thank you,
Second.
council.
Thank you. Ms. Sculls seconded. Amy, please poll the council.
Ms. Stinney?
Yes.
Ms. Skull?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
152, 2015, I make a motion to approve 152, 2015.
Second.
Amy, please poll the council.
Ms. Skull?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Ms. Stinney?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Abstain? Ms. Do we do the bill stuff? Shows? No, not this. The public works.
Bill 168.
Okay. Other resolutions. Resolution number 168-2015 authorizes the acceptance of a Green Acres loan in the amount of $350,000 and a matching grant in the amount of $750,000.
I'm sorry. I was gazing over my last comment so that I can highlight it with these comments here. I'm hoping council would fully support projects of our youth. If we can't show our youth that we care, who will? We have to be the example. I have been throughout my community. 13 years on the Board of Education, fighting for the kids, the administration, teachers, all the way down the line. This is a great thing. I'm hoping that it will grow. I'm going to ask the council tonight if we could look into some senior developments there. I see you got chills, and that's true. That's true. We need to support and show that our youth that we care. that they don't have to go to, excuse me if anybody's there from the high school, but my neighbors across the street were soccer players, and God knows when they came back, they had mud all the way up to the top of their hoods. And so did I, parking to see their games. Walking, we need somewhere to walk. We have football fields down here. I mean, this is a prime area that we dreamed of. My grandkids, they read the article. I have one going in the 9th grade and one that's going in the 6th grade. And you know what he said? How come we didn't include a dog park? I went in, I saw the mayor yesterday. He says, well, yeah, but I ain't going to say make no comments, but he listened. I'll put it that way, that he listened. So we are growing. We had a lot of people fussing and arguing about the Imagination Kingdom over here, and I sat on that committee for that to happen. Kids were going over there getting splinters and all sorts of things. They hollered and screamed about that, but guess what? You have people coming from out of town visiting our Imagination Kingdom. So what a prime thing we have done. So I'm just hoping that this evening Council would fully support the development of our new field down on the West End, in West End area. And Council President, thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question on this. If $750,000 is a grant, why do we have to bond for that?
I believe we have to show that we have the money up front. You can't award a contract without showing that we actually have the money. Is that correct?
That is correct. You have to spend the money before you get reimbursed by the grantor. So you have to create, essentially, it's sort of like building a big construction project. You have to have construction financing, and then you have to have permanent financing. So the bond essentially is the financial mechanism in order to be able to put this out to bid, award the contracts, construct the project, and then show to DEP that we have done everything in accordance with the plans. Then they will reimburse us and then allow us to pay off what we have borrowed. When you do a bond ordinance, basically it's a bond and or a note which is a short-term debt, which is the likely way to do this is to take it as a short-term note for a year or two, do the construction project. When you get reimbursed from NJDEP, then you pay off the short-term debt.
So this is different than other bond ordinances that we do where we're paying them for 20 years.
Yeah, all of the bond ordinances are structured legally the same way, but the way this will work, because it's for a project that we have permanent financing coming in from, it will function differently.
Okay,
yeah.
That was my question, because I thought we had heard before that we couldn't pay bond ordinances off early.
The bond ordinance you can, but the notes you can.
Okay.
If you know that the bond ordinance can be refinanced once during its life, and it's after 10 years. But if you issue a short-term note, which the bond ordinances include, then you can borrow $1.1 million when you need it for a period of a year or 2 years during the construction period, and then when you get the funding reimbursed, the grant and the loan from NJDEP, then you pay off the note.
Okay, so we're paying off a note.
So the note will be paid off with the proceeds of the award.
Thank you for clarifying that. I thought maybe that was kind of some of the confusion that some of the residents had earlier, too.
Dennis, can I ask a question? Council President, may I ask Dennis a question while we're still on this? How do we plan on getting the message out? I know Dave Blazinski from Burlington County Times did a wonderful article on the information that that the mayor gave him, and I applaud Paula Redmond from one end to the other. I know I'm not supposed to say anything or question, but I saw her in the parking lot the other day, and I couldn't help but just give her a hug. And how do we get the message?
You're allowed to hug her.
I am allowed to hug her? Okay, thank you. That's for the record now. So Dennis, how do we plan on getting out the message to the rest of the residents? Because I read some junk on Facebook that, oh, the mayor just want to get the money and do something else with the money. How do we get the information out to the residents, what we are actually planning for and what this grant can only be covered for? So that those that go on Facebook, they may be here tonight, they may read about it or hear it in my minutes. I want it to be perfectly clear what this will actually be going out for.
Well, first of all, when you receive a grant from the state of New Jersey, whether it's NJDEP or NJDOT, there are specific terms of the grant. One is they've evaluated an application. The application is very specific. And the grant is awarded for a very specific project, including drawings and you have to describe. It's 5 fields. This is what we need for the playground and the walking trail, etc. Then, once we end up building what it is that we have planned, then we have to demonstrate to NJDEP that we have built what we promised to build on the grant. They confirm that. Once they confirm it, then we get our money. If we build something else, then we're not going to get reimbursed. And in any event, what we ultimately build will be before the council again, because we'll have to put this out for bid, and the bid documents will include specifically what will be bid, and the council will have to authorize a contract.
Thank you. I think that's enough information, because the videotape also goes on the webpage, and I certainly plan on sharing and spreading the word throughout the school, through the schools and through the communities and through our churches that I'm involved with, and all other entities that I can get the message out to, that we do care about our students here in Pemberton Township. We do, and I'm a total witness for that. And thank you so very much for that explanation.
I do appreciate it. The other thing is that this plan started years ago when the mayor came before council and asked council to authorize the purchase of the property of that property, knowing that was the first step to creating the much larger park.
Reverend Dean, that's right. That's absolutely right. So, now it's here. Voila!
Before we vote, I'd just like to inform the public that I'm not participating in the discussion and the voting on this, because the loan and grant monies is actually coming from my employer. So I will be recusing myself from this vote. Council, is there any more discussion? Is there a motion to approve resolution number 168-2015?
Motion to approve 168-2015.
I'll be on. Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. Take mine away. Go ahead, Miss Councilwoman Jackson. I need to hush up a little bit.
Did you get it, Amy? A second.
Amy, yes.
Mrs. Skull?
Yes.
Mrs. Jackson?
Yes.
Mrs. Stinney?
I'm honored to say yes.
Mr. Allen?
Abstain. Moving on. Okay, if you're following the agenda, we moved resolution number 169-2015 to the beginning of the agenda, so we're going to go ahead and move to ordinances for introduction. Ordinance number 12-2015, an ordinance of the Township of Pemberton establishing a new chapter of the Pemberton Township Code entitled Tax Sales in order to establish costs associated with property tax sales for delinquent taxes and fees in the township. Council, is there any discussion? Is there a motion to introduce with public hearing on August 5th?
I'll make the motion to introduce ordinance number 12-2015 with the hearing on, what date, Jason, again?
August 5th, which is the next meeting.
Second.
Amy, please poll the council.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Ms. Skull?
Yes.
Ms. Stinney?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. All right. Okay. Yes.
You didn't have to abstain on that one.
Okay. Ordinance number 13-2015. Bond ordinance providing for improvements to the West End Athletic Complex by and in the Township of Pemberton in the County of Burlington, State of New Jersey, appropriating $1.1 million therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1.1 million in bonds or notes of the Township to finance the cost thereof.
Motion to introduce ordinance 13, 2015,
I'll second.
Public hearing on
with a
August
public
15th.
hearing on August 5th.
I'll second.
Amy, please poll the council.
Ms. Skull?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Ms. Stinney?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
I will be abstaining again. Okay. Ordinance number 14-2015. An ordinance of the Township of Pemberton authorizing the lease of space in the Nesbitt Center to Faith in Action Incorporated for operation of a youth center.
I'd like to make a motion that ordinance 14, 2015, August 5th? I'll go on the agenda for August 5th, and I'd just like to make a quick comment. Here we go again. This is with our youth. I have a packet this thick that's going to describe the different things that are going on in the Nesbitt Center, utilizing our buildings for what they should be for, our adults, our community, and our youth. I have an awful lot of information on this here. It's available, and I'm grateful, and I hope that everyone comes out on the 4th, on the 5th,
Fifth.
sorry, the 4th, my husband's birthday. That's why that's singing. And come out and support this as well. So soccer moms and coaches and everyone, please come out. Here's another youth entity for our students here in Pemberton Township. And boy, are we growing with that.
Ms. Stinney, you keep saying soccer moms, but you're forgetting soccer dads as well.
Oh, well, where are they? Raise your hands.
No.
Are they watching TV? Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go.
Oh, future. Oh. Future soccer dad. Okay. Okay. I'm a soccer grandmom.
Me too.
All right, and to the grandmoms and the dads and all those that come out and support, I thank you very much and hope that we come out and show the same support that we have this evening on the 5th of August. So with that, yes. Do I keep quiet?
Okay. Okay.
Do I keep quiet?
Yeah. No. Moving on.
Okay.
Oh, is there a second?
Second.
Amy, please poll the council.
Mrs. Stinney?
Yes.
Mrs. Skull?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Now we're moving on. Ms. Skull, you requested the poll under purchases over 2,000, Public Works.
Right. I thought it was a very good question about where the shelves are going, where they intended to be.
This is the shelving for the portion of the former police locker room that we're going to be used for storage. This particular storage is going to first accommodate records from the clerk's office and code enforcement, and hopefully it will also accommodate additional offices, although it may not.
That's a lot of money. For wood?
It's a lot of metal shelves.
Oh, metal.
These are metal shelves.
Well, how big is the space? Is it? I think it's a pretty good-sized location.
I would say the space could be about 2/3 or about the size of this. About half of this room. The shelving will be too deep as well, so.
And so there's no other space here in the municipal area? Did we ever use up all that space that, remember was molded, you weren't here at that time, downstairs or outside or somewhere?
There is no other space. In fact, part of what we plan on doing is eliminated those boxes that we have back between Public Works and the parking area back behind us. Those things are rented annually, and they're not actually very suitable. One of our employees has actually been hurt trying to get stuff out of there, seriously hurt. The idea is to be able to go through at least one, if not two, of those boxes that we rent annually, and be able to eliminate the things that we don't need or not required to keep, organize the things that we're required to keep, and then move them into this indoor storage, and then we'll be able to save the annual rental fees because we'll just give them back.
And what was that? Do you recall off the top of your head? And if not, that's okay.
Off the top of my head, I really couldn't tell you. It could be a couple $1,000s a year.
Amy?
I want to say that 2 of the boxes alone are $5,000 a year.
Okay.
I have 3 down there, and I believe 2 of them, I think I have about $5,000 in my budget for those each year.
So the idea is to not have to rent that and then have a one-shot purchase of the storage. And we'll be able to organize it so that our offices that use the storage facility can more easily have access to the files, and organize it sort of like a library so that you know where to go for a particular file instead of spending several hours searching through it, either when it's really, really hot or really, really cold, which is a problem right now.
Well, certainly I don't want anyone climbing over boxes and this, that, and the other and having any more injuries than probably we already can claim now. Just hypothetically speaking, I want that for the record. So nobody don't go and put it on Facebook that Mrs. Stinney said we have a whole bunch of claims. So just hypothetically speaking. So, Ms. Gall, thanks for that, pulling that and having that discussion.
Is there a motion to approve the purchase of shelving in the amount of $5,808?
I'll make the motion to approve the $5,888 for the Schaefer shelving.
I'll second it.
Amy, please poll the council.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Ms. Stinney?
Yes.
Ms. Skull?
No.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Solicitor's report.
I have nothing for the council or public tonight.
I have a question.
Sure.
I see in our paper Monday, July 13th, that we have a notice of Pemberton Township of filing a declaratory judgment action regarding Pemberton Township's compliance with the affordable
Yes.
housing obligations. Would you explain this to me?
Yes. Under a New Jersey Supreme Court decision dating back to March of this year, municipalities that had affordable housing plans before the Council on Affordable Housing had to file a complaint in the Superior Court by July 8th to basically have your plan approved before the court, because the trial court, because the New Jersey Supreme Court found that COA, the Council on Affordable Housing, basically ceased to exist under the Christie administration, and that therefore towns that were before COA had to go to court. I worked with Mr. Benedetti, he's a planner, and we prepared an application. We filed a complaint with the court, as well as a motion for immunity from builder's remedy litigation, which basically would give Pemberton up to 5 months to prepare an updated affordable housing plan. The main thrust behind the township doing this is so that we can continue to use the fees in our affordable housing trust fund to rehabilitate properties that qualify. Mr. Benedetti had suggested to me that, because otherwise you need court approval of a spending plan, which is also part of this. That spending plan used to be before COA, and now it's going to be before the court. So in order to continue spending that money to rehabilitate homes for people who qualify for those monies, we had to go before the court. And we were required by the Supreme Court to advertise the notice that you see in the paper. That we arranged for that through Amy's office, that notice be put in the paper, and we sent notice of the lawsuit to, there's a service list of interested parties that's been in existence here for a number of years, and we sent the notice of the lawsuit to those interested parties as well as to every clerk of every town of Burlington. What's the region here? It's Burlington. We had 3 counties. So it was a substantial project, actually. We had to send the notice to every municipality within the 3 counties surrounding Burlington.
Does this relieve possible, let's just say like Danaton came in and one of those properties and they had to provide so many
Affordable.
Yeah. Does that relieve them of that responsibility or any future developer?
No, just the opposite. So what this does, whatever the agreement we have with Danatom that's in place is the agreement, and they have.
Yeah.
So that doesn't change. That in terms of
an example.
Yeah, but I understand. In terms of other developers, what this does is allow the township to include potential affordable housing as any proposed development going forward. So the idea is for municipalities to plan for meeting their affordable housing obligation as opposed to a builder coming in and saying, potentially suggesting you want to put development in a location where the municipality doesn't want it. So this sort of allows Pemberton to control its planning destiny moving forward.
And the planning board has been involved in any of this?
Well, the planning board years ago, not with the filing of the lawsuit, but they will be going forward. The planning board years ago approved, your affordable housing plan is contained in your master plan. It's actually called the housing element of your master plan. And the planning board years ago approved that. It would have been around 2008, because that was the last affordable housing plan that the township did. And in terms of going forward, if the affordable housing plan is going to be amended, the planning board would be a part of that.
So is this in reality a lawsuit?
Is it a law? Yeah. Well, yes, it is, because because the state, because this New Jersey Supreme Court held that COA was no longer functioning.
Right.
Any town that was before COA had to now file basically what was before COA before the court, and that's what we did. And it's through the vehicle was a lawsuit, but it was in essence through a New Jersey Supreme Court order and the state not functioning. Yes.
Well, my point with bringing this up is here we have in a newspaper article, people are calling me up, and I know nothing about this at all. This is one of the issues that I've had a problem.
Sharon, your
with
last,
administration,
I'm sorry, when you're done. In your last meeting, you authorized the filing of the lawsuit, actually. There was a resolution right then, I think it was the last meeting, the last meeting, what is this? This is July. The meeting in June, there was a resolution authorizing the filing of this lawsuit, which you approved. So it wasn't done in the dark.
No, but it wasn't really, it would have been nice to have had an email saying, this is what's happening.
Well, I will certainly, or Amy has the papers, because we had the papers we filed.
I'm sorry, I did not
Yeah.
really pick up on the fact that I thought this was a standard thing that all COA towns had to do.
Well, that's true, but it is technically a lawsuit. But,
right.
So you're both right.
Okay.
Right. But Amy has all the papers electronically, or I could forward the papers either to each council.
I have them, I can forward them to
Yeah.
council.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I kind of have a question, Andy, because I'm a little bit puzzled on some of the things, and it'd be a little bit more clear visually see. Hypothetically speaking, so don't go on Facebook wrong. I hate to keep saying that, but I'm just so sorry. Just say if we had conversation, and this is not the first time administration has heard this, and I'll share it with you. Affordable housing for an assisted living development for our veterans and our seniors. Would this forbid them for a developer to come in and have conversation with administration